We want this program to keep running until we are done and hit the X key. So we need to add a loop around the important code in the middle. This code. We don't have a collection, so we don't need a for each loop. We don't want to loop a specific number of times, so we don't want a for loop. We can probably do this with a while loop. So we have while. So what Boolean question do we ask? Well, we want to loop to just run and keep running until we hit X. So we want this Boolean question to always return true. So we could make up a true statement like 1 equals 1. That's always true, but it's simpler than that. We can just enter the word true. And we'll put the brace here. We have to delete this brace because we're going to move it down to the bottom here. And you'll see that Visual Studio indented everything for us. So let's test it. We'll hit E to enter a new task. Alter description 1. Hit enter. Enter a new task description. Description 1. Enter. And it keeps doing the same thing. So we have a problem. Our problem is that now we're reading the key only one time outside of the loop. But we don't want that to be true. We want to read the key every loop. So we'll move that line of code down here. And we don't have a scope problem because key is only ever read inside of this if block. And now we can try it again. We'll hit E to enter a new task description. Type description 1 and hit enter. And now it does not print the directions again, but it's letting us enter a new key. So if we hit P, current task is description 1, and if we hit X, it exits the program. So the loop is working and it's letting us do multiple things. You may notice that it's not printing the directions every time, so if we want, we can move those down inside of the loop. Here. And maybe at the top, we'll add an extra right line just to separate things a little bit. So that'll separate each new section from the one above it. And let's try that. Here's our directions. So we hit E to enter a new task description. We'll call it again. Well, this time we'll call it build a robot. We'll hit enter, and now it shows us our directions again. So we can print, and it says our current task is build a robot. We'll hit P again. Again, it says build a robot, and now we'll hit X and exit the program. Now everything works great. However, again, while this is still fun, it's still useless. We can only track one task description. Our new problem is that we want to enter any number of tasks. How should we solve that problem? Well, we could make a bunch of task variables like this and call them like task 1, 2, 3, 4 and try to keep track of all of those, but that would probably be difficult when we're doing things like this, enter a new task description. We'd probably have to say enter a new task description for 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it would just get difficult to track. So the other problem is that entering and printing tasks gets complicated. What we need is a way to have one variable that can hold an unlimited number of something. In this case, an unlimited number of strings, which is our task descriptions. We've hit concept number 5, collections.